Hi friends! If you want to check out what my favorites have been for the month of April, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name's Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauté. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. This month flew by, and at the start I wondered, I worried, I was concerned. How am I going to pass a whole month in quarantine? Well, it managed to zoom by, and I felt I did not get enough done at all. I've learned a lot about myself, about my productivity and my time management in terms of how it can improve. I'm happy that I did use the time wisely in terms of creating and also making sure that I stick to my training. I'm consistent with that, and also didn't want to buy all the makeup. Kind of nuts, despite me not working, but I do have some income coming in. You still want to save at a time like this, but it just seems that retailers don't care. And the emails being sent to us constantly, 20% off here, 20% off here. It was insane. I did buy a couple of things. I wanted to show you also, this is a get ready with me style favorites video if you haven't been here before. Hi. The reason why I like to do these is because I will forget what I bought in a month, and applying my makeup as I speak about the items just helped me remember what those said products are. If you want to skip over to a specific product, all timestamps and products will be down below in the description box. And yeah, why don't we come in a little closer and get this fave video started. That's enough. We got some Frenzzz. They're scabbing off, not too bad. I would say the one fail that I had this month was just spending too much time in front of the mirror. Usually if I'm out and about, I'm not investigating, I'm not near my bathroom or near a place where I could start picking and prodding. So that for me, unfortunately, was a fail for me this month. I definitely picked more than I should have, and it looks way worse than how it initially starts. I'm talking very small whiteheads, probably just slight clogged pores that I get from having hair on my face. And if I just leave it alone and come to the surface, it usually slaws off when you wash your face. But no, once you start picking and prodding and gets infected, it gets worse, and this is what happens. You get marks left behind. I had plenty of opportunity to just walk away, but I insisted on taking care of it myself. And this is what we got. But I also wanted to show you what I'm dealing with on a daily basis. And not all of us have perfect skin, and I truly feel, however, the makeup items that I have been using kind of help blur and filter those imperfections without covering them entirely, so the skin still looks like itself and not heavy. Let's put on a moisturizer that's not a new product, but something that I have been using all season. It is the Good Molecule Silicone Free Priming Moisturizer. I actually put an order in because it's coming up. We have to make sure we get more moisturizer. Someone had commented that my under eyes are dry, probably because in that specific video I did not reapply moisturizer, but I'm not one to use a separate eye cream for my under eyes. I feel as long as the under eyes are tended to, and the moisturizer the Good Molecules formulated, I think is superb. And that is also the reason why I don't use primer. I feel if your skin is prepped well with the right moisturizer, if you happen to be going out, that you put on SPF, okay? That should be everybody's primer during the day. I wanted to start off with the book, a favorite book I actually have been reading on and off. I consider this book more like a reference book that you could read all the way through, or you could pick apart different chapters. This is Robert H. Lustig's Fat Chance. Now, before you get triggered by this book, this goes into why a calorie is not a calorie. And I was one to always think that no matter what you ate, you could just burn it off and that's it. This goes into the science of nutrition and how different foods are metabolized depending on what it is. It could be metabolized into one thing or another, and it just gives you a better understanding of if you are going through lethargy or you don't feel like your optimal performance best. Nutrition has a huge effect on us, I think more so than what we believe. And I have been trying to eliminate more sugar from my diet, and it's been hard for me because I love chocolate croissants. And this quarantine happened at a right time because I just have not been bypassing the chocolate croissants like I usually do on a daily basis, and I therefore have less temptation. And I have eliminated a lot of sugar from my diet, and I do feel and see a difference. I think though it's helpful to understand why sugar is so bad on the body, because I used to be like, oh, you know, treat yourself, don't deprive yourself. It's like saying you're depriving yourself from cocaine. Like, it's not. It's okay to not eat the sugar because it has such a negative impact on us. To say we're depriving ourselves from sugar is ludicrous to me now. I will put the book down below if you care to read. If you feel like, listen, I don't need anything, Alicia, I'm gonna eat what I'm gonna eat, that's fine too. But I always like to share some nutrition knowledge if I feel it worth sharing. If you are into this, if you want to look into it, then the title will be down below. And the title Fat Chance has nothing to do with calling people fat. It's more to do with how metabolic disease has basically taken over our entire population. People who are at a normal weight number wise are diabetic, and it's getting a little crazy. Now enough of that. You're like, Alicia, just get into the makeup, and that's why the timestamps are down below, friends. Next up, my first favorite of the month. I think this is an unpopular opinion. However, I've been really loving the Surratt Dewdrop foundation. This is not a new foundation. It has been out for quite some time. I did a review video on these two, talking about how the shade matching was quite a challenge because the way they number their shades is very inconsistent. And if you were to rely on just the website, you would have no idea. I decided to email customer service, and they were kind enough to let me know, since I provided my shade match for the Tom Ford 7 Tawny, they were like, okay, then 9 will be good. But I had already ordered 7. I have both work really well. The unpopular opinion was that people feel that it's a ripoff that you're paying so much money for a lightweight foundation. I have to disagree. I think it's actually harder to formulate a lighter coverage foundation that still provides the right amount of coverage for those who just don't want it. Surprise, surprise, there are people out there who don't wear foundation at all, that don't like how it feels on their skin. And to have a product such as this with this type of texture, which I think is very fluid and elegant, could be tricky to formulate. I'm taking number 7, which is actually the deeper shade. You would think by the numbers going up, the shades will go darker. Not so. Number 9 is quite light. If you want more in-depth swatches and comparisons, again, I will leave that video link down below. Gonna mix it up. I will first apply this on its own. If you haven't seen my video already, how the coverage is without the addition of concealer. This is a favorite for me simply because it's just so lightweight and my skin, but better. It's fragrance free for a luxury product. I still can't get over that. And I feel it has a little more coverage than a tinted moisturizer. I feel it evens out the canvas without looking heavy on the skin. It doesn't look artificial. It just sinks right in. And again, I think it's just a marvelous formula for those who don't think really highly of foundation. They just can't get into it because they feel no matter which one they apply, they feel like they're wearing makeup. This, I believe, will change your mind about foundation wear. Applying a little more of 7, Chou, just on the spots that need a little more coverage. And 7 is the more golden tone, so it adds a little more warmth, but it doesn't give me artificial warmth. It, you know, it looks like maybe I got just a little bit of a tan. Just a little bit. So this is how it does, covering up, not really like a whole lot, but again, don't really mind that. If I feel really strongly about covering these blemishes, then my concoction I actually have been using is still a standout favorite. Excuse me, you're gonna focus on me. The Dior Forever Skin Correct. I like to mix 3N with the Hourglass Vanish, the Airbrush Vanish in Dune. The Hourglass is stellar coverage, but it could be a lot. Mixing that together and using, guess I'll consider this a favorite of the month. This is the Surratt Complexion Perfectionniste brush. I really love how soft and fluid it is, but it just gets the product on there beautifully. Optimal for smaller areas of the face that you need more coverage on. Getting here under the lip and around the jaw. Especially helpful for around the nostrils. Get these suckers here. Some like to leave their fails towards the end of the video, but since I am doing a get ready with me, I will introduce my first fail of the month. I really want to like this product, and I don't like using the word fail because it indicates that it's not going to work for anyone, right? I did buy the Surratt Perfectionniste Concealer Palette in number 3. While I do like it, I feel this texture is tricky. I have it in 3, by the way, if you're wondering which one you would be in terms of shade matching. I find it a little tricky in terms of it does settle into my fine lines, and I don't know if it's because I have not found the right application technique to use with this texture. It has a little bit of tack to it that could settle on your under eyes if you have texture there. And although I really enjoy this corrector shade, I probably have to use something else over it that's a little more fluid. I do like the powder. I like the powder in here. It's not dusty at all. It melts into the skin. It gives a little brightening. I'm just not too sure about this. I wanted to show it in action so you can have a look. I'm taking the Complexion brush, this time with the corrector shade, and placing that right where I need it. So it does a phenomenal job brightening initially, you'll see. I wore this yesterday, and at the end of the day, it settled into my lines here. And you know what? That could be because I didn't moisturize enough. It's a possibility. But another characteristic I do love about the foundation, switching products on you, I don't feel the need to wear concealer with this foundation because it just sinks so beautifully into the skin. It looks okay. I would definitely say less is more with this. Don't go in ham. This is definitely not a formula to go in ham with. But I do feel if you have texture on the under eyes, you have to be careful with how much you apply. Now with the actual shade that will provide some coverage, I'm using my pat brush. This is from her Shine Duo set, and pressing that on top of the corrector shade. This concealer palette comes in 5 different corrector, concealer, and powder combinations. So the deeper you go, the more apricot the powder will get, the more apricot the corrector shade will get. So it starts off nice, it does. And that's why I definitely have to make sure before you powder, I'm gonna use this powder just so you can see it in action. I will most likely use a very thin, small brush. I'm gonna use the tip of the Designer Pro and just tap, tappity tap, and press that on. So do I still think this is a fail? It's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite because of how it settled into my lines by the end of the day. I do think it's a lovely product going on. And might I add, ideal for someone who wants more of a lightweight concealer experience, is not into the lines and the swishing of concealer under the eyes. This is definitely for a lightweight makeup application. But for the most part from here, it looks great. Bergdorf's is having another sale. Again, I think this is 25% off, and also on the Surratt site, they've been having 25% off their site for quite some time. So if they're still offering that special, well, maybe you want to get it, I don't know. Up next is perhaps the most standout item of the whole month because this release was just so highly anticipated. The Fenty. I bought 3 cream bronzers and all the cream blushes, I know. If this is your first time seeing this, I have a video swatching all 10. You're welcome. I've been playing with these a lot and trying to figure out how I can decipher the differences between this one and the Tom Ford. I do like the Tom Ford's color richness a little better, but I do appreciate the ease of use with these. People were speculating, asking if they lasted long or they fade throughout the day. I think this is what you expect from a cream product if you don't set it. It's not going to last as long as a powder, and if your skin type is oily, it might not last as long as you than someone who is a drier skin type. That's what I would say, maybe powder first, then apply the cream bronzer, or apply your favorite bronzer powder on top. And also you have to remember the nature of these creams are to be a little more lightweight and not as pigmented than like a pro cream product, because I think Fenty wanted the consumer to just have an easy, seamless time applying these products. I have Teddy Honey Glaze, yes, Honey Glaze and Macchiato. I really love all three shades. I don't need all three. I was just curious about it. But what I have been doing is mixing Macchiato and Teddy, which is what shall we do. I'm taking Kelsey Brianna J's lead. Hey, baby. Going in with a spatula so we could be hygienic. I'm gonna swirl that all together. A little goes a long way also. You don't need a whole lot. Taking my refer, I think this is the 18, just to the hollows of the cheeks. And the ease of blend is extraordinary. I think they nailed the formula. I love how it's fragrance free. I was worried because their foundation, their primer is all chock full of fragrance. I'm like, oh God, if it had fragrance, I could just not. It's just, it can't do it, man. Along the jawline. So when you mix Teddy Macchiato together, I feel Macchiato takes away the ruddiness of Teddy for me and just kind of tones it down so it's a little more neutral in tone. And I really appreciate that match. I'm not saying you gotta get both, but if you have more than one shade, don't feel inclined to just use one at a time. I think it's very helpful and expected to mix shades. Some people don't like that because it's like takes time, like I'm paying for the one shade that should just work by itself. I get it, friend. However, you got more than one shade and you got the time, mix and match, baby. I love this combination. So good. Before we get into the blushes, because I love the blushes as well, I think the consistency is very much aligns with the cream bronzers. These have just been a pleasure to use. Definitely standout favorite of the month. I wanted to show you, you're gonna get so pissed at me, friends, but I know. I did take advantage of the Neiman Marcus sale that was going on at the time. They were having 25% off again, and I wanted to do the Tom Ford Soleil Glow Bronzer in Terra. I was very much intrigued by Terra. I was like, what does this look like? This is a very light shade. However, it does show up more neutral on me, and it doesn't have the sparkles. This is a matte finish as opposed to Gold Dust, which is the first one I purchased. This definitely has a warmer tone to it, and it also has little glowy gold shimmers in there. So if you're not into the shimmers, then you probably go with Terra, but if you want this tone from Gold Dust, then I would get the Gold Dust instead. Powder texture itself is just exquisite. So beautifully silky and buttery. It melts into the skin like no other. And what I've been doing, I've been taking Terra and using that to lightly set the Fenty. Now, is that too much? Absolutely. You don't need all this makeup, but I just think it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Taking my Sonergy Master Face. Going to pat that Terra down, and I think it gives it just the right amount of saturation. It's not going to overtake the cream bronzer, but it's going to make sure the bronze, you know, stays behind. Ooh, I love. The one con is, can Tom Ford come out with deeper bronzer shades? I mean, hopefully these deeper bronzer shades are in the works, because man, everyone on the whole skin tone spectrum should experience this formula. It is outrageously beautiful. My other fail of the month, this product has been getting a lot of praise, and I like it. I like it. However, I do feel that the Diamante Cosmetics Skin Gloss is a little greasy. It's a little greasy, only because I love the balm from the Tom Ford shade Illuminate a lot better. I feel it's just more lightweight, it's more cosmetically elegant. I tried the skin gloss for a few days and I feel like it does not dry down. It stays very glossy, and I would like it to just dry down a little more demi matte. I have all 4 shades because I wanted to get the bundle in case I really liked it. But I don't know, I feel it's a little heavy. I do. It does have petrolatum in it, and I love petrolatum, okay? I slap on CeraVe healing ointment on my face on the nights I don't use tretinoin. I glob it up, okay? Because I want the skin to be protected. But this, though, I don't want to use extensively on my skin. It just, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I wanted to show you this product because I did buy it. If you're wondering about it, I still like the Tom Ford better, and I also like, let me present this as a favorite then, since we're already here. The Surratt Torche Lumiere highlighting sticks. These are a lot drier than the Dominique Cosmetics, but I feel they go on a lot better. I feel they're just more lightweight, and they have better staying power. They have better shine. It's crushed diamond powder, and I feel it's just a better effect, whereas the Dominique, I don't know. I don't like that tack left on my skin. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm still gonna use it. So let's just use it, okay? Golden Dew. The compact is gorgeous. I love the compact. I think I just have to use less. I can't use a whole lot. Maybe I just use too much. So that's Golden Dew. But when I apply the shade Illuminate Balm, I just feel like it's a little more effortless, and I also feel it goes on more evenly. So here's the Golden Dew, and here's the Tom Ford. I could be going nuts. Again, we'll still use it. Probably not all the time, but I do want to go in with the Diamante stick. This definitely brings the glow forward, fam. It is outrageously good. And because it is so lightweight, it just layers over anything superbly. It's so great. I love it. I love it so much. I want to mix Bikini, Martini, and Coolberry together. I don't know what shade that combination will yield, but it's worth a try. Oh, it's like a plum. Ooh. Another standout favorite is Fenty's newest addition to their brush collection, the 125 face. Really like this brush. It's very soft, it's synthetic, but the angle and the fluffiness makes it really easy to apply these products. And we're applying this over the Tom Ford powder bronzer. So the consistency of these cream products is just versatile in use. You don't have to be strict about it. If you forgot to apply these fresh on foundation or concealed skin and you powdered, I feel if you mix it on the back of your hand and press it on, you won't run into any problems. So pretty. Now, just so you can see, I will take the, what color do I want to use? The Sunset Glow from the Dominique Cosmetics. Maybe if I warm it up on the back of my hand first. I'm going to go in with my pat brush and just on the very tops of the cheeks. Maybe I have to do that. Maybe since I use my fingers, I pick up too much product and it feels heavy. Would I recommend that you get this if you already have the Tom Ford? No. I think if you have the shade Illuminate Balm, you wouldn't need the Dominique Cosmetics, in my opinion. I bought something else. I had my eye on this for quite some time. I know, you guys are gonna unsubscribe. You're gonna unsubscribe. I have the Incandescent in number 7. Ever since Mel Thompson talked about this powder duo, I was like, are you kidding me? This shade is like a rosy plum. Although the texture has some shimmer to it, it's not heavy on the skin and it doesn't look glittery. It just melts. It melts into the skin. It's outrageous and I hate how good it is. Taking my little Surratt cheek brush, which is also considered definitely a favorite. Whisking the plum shade over the cream bronzer blush. I guess cream bronzer technically as well. Look at the sheen without the texture, fam. And this shade is exquisite. I love it so much. It looks pinker on screen than it does in real life. It has a little more plum mauve to it than I initially anticipated. And we gotta go in with this highlighter. This highlighter is so rude. It's rude. Sonaji, mini cheek. I mean, come on. Come on. Stop it. I think it is so, this duo. All right, complexion is complete, and I actually have to show another favorite that I've had this for quite some time, but I just always forget to mention it, and it is the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Powder. But the compact, I cannot. This is such a lightweight powder that really just filters like no other. But the compact, look at this beautiful lid. I mean, you can't get better than this. And we're helping the hummingbirds. That's important. I'm gonna whip that all over with my Chikuhodo Z9. You notice I did not set the foundation. I waited until all my cheek products were applied, and then I went in with the blurring powder to not only set, and that has been my routine for the whole month actually. I've been going back and forth, and I find that this is best for me in terms of not making my skin look heavy with makeup, considering how much makeup we already applied. The skin, the perfect blur, like I feel despite that we have cream bronzer, powder bronzer, cream blush, powder brush, and the skin looks, I feel, marvelous despite what's going on down here. We're doing good. All right, fam, let me prep these lids for favorite eyeshadow palettes of the month, and I'll be right back. A few eyeshadow palettes. My two standouts, of course, well, what am I saying? All three are standouts. The Artist Couture Supreme Nudes palette. I've used this extensively when I first received it from Sephora. I think this is just a solid everyday neutrals palette with a little bit of zing from that olive metallic as well as this beautiful rose gold metallic. That's a little more texture, so it has a little more reflectivity. But I like how Angel included different textures overall, and the different tones of the mattes, I feel, widens the spectrum of neutral look possibility. You don't have to be stuck with a neutral brown. You got a cool brown, you got a warm brown, you got a mustard tone brown. And my two other favorites have to be from Viseart Paris, the Spritz Edit and the Chou. These are extraordinary color stories. I think they are dead on, summer friendly. They have that vibe, they have that mood, and the tones of these shades, the peachy, the pink, the melon, it's just, I thought I would just combine both of them. I do have 4 looks using Supreme Nudes. I have more looks comparing it to Milk Cosmetics Rust palette, so if you want to take a look at that video, both videos, link those down below too. Look at these colors. Granita with my Hakuhodo B142. And I prime my lids with my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. And of course, as you know, if you don't know, I'm going to mention it again, that Viseart mattes are remarkable. Ease of blend, ease of use. You don't have to do much. It's there and it's ready to go. Now with Popsicle from Chou, tapping that more on the actual lid, because that gradient from Granita into Popsicle, like the coral into the more neon bluish pink. And again, you just gotta tap it, tap, tap. Oh, taking a fluffier brush. This is my, it is actually my reference number 15. Marvelous. I can't. This is too much to take. Brioche. Don't mind me. I'm going back and forth between both eyes. Brioche is a beautifully perfect brown. I mean, I can't. It's on the warmer side. You can definitely see those more orange hues come through, but I love the tone. You could just apply this all over your crease, lid, and be done. It's done. Melon. Tapping that inside of Brioche. And the brown into the melon shade is extraordinary. Grabbing my Sonergy Worker 1 just to pack on a little more color, simply because I think my Hakuhodo brush, since it is a blending brush, it's not designed to pick up a lot, it's designed to blend. A tightly packed brush will now pick up more of the matte, and you will see that gradient better. Isn't that gorgeous? I can't take it. Ooh, I love what's happening on these eyeballs. Sangria, inner part of this eye. This is so, hold on. These shades are so summer perfect. And I know a lot of people don't think highly of Viseart shimmers. You gotta let them settle, and they just melt into the skin, and they don't accentuate lid texture. I'm patting this over a matte, and it just the harmony is outrageous. Now with Fizz on this eye, Fizz has a lot of sparkle. You gotta let it chill for a little bit and it just spreads and settles. It's the most beautiful effect. I'm patting down a little more melon so we get best of both worlds. Going back in with the Fizzy Fizz Fizz. Figura, the Raspberry Matte from Spritz Edit, refer number 1. Pulling that through. The Surratt concealer started to settle a little bit. But because I love to wear my eyeshadow so low, it's not bothering me now. But if you're not wearing shadow, see how it's settled there? That's what I have to figure out. I love the shade. I love the color in the concealer compact, but I just don't like how it does that. Oh, but that shade though, so beautiful. I'm going left field and applying icy. Pressing it right on the inner part of the lower lash line. Now with Sorbet, as our inner corner highlight is a beautiful peach to lime duochrome. Oh, Scala. I know, it's a shimmer, but it glides so beautifully. It just sweeps effortlessly on the skin. So good. Don't mind me, I'm just whipping away the over application. But I like it. It's just like sultry. Limoncello. Think we go in limoncello. Refer number 3. The red brush I used was my Hakuhodo pencil brush that's no longer available because it was a limited edition holiday 2019 set. So I'm sorry I used that brush on camera. And now Prosecco, the champagne highlight from Spritz Edit on the inner corner. Curly lashes. Some Lash Paradise waterproof. Alright, these lashes are looking luscious. Lips. The Gucci has been a favorite last month also. However, I bought one other shade, Susan Nude. Oh my goodness. Penny Beige is my standout favorite, most definitely. I like Susan Nude for its cooler tone. So that is Susan Nude. Yes, just want to make sure. And Penny Beige right next to it. Definitely warmer in tone. It's more pinky. And I like to actually put that on the center of my lip, and then Susan Nude more on the outer perimeters. Taking Natasha Denona's lip liner in L6. Penny Beige on the center. Susan Nude on the outer corners. Oof! Too much. And here's a wide shot of the finished look. All products on the skin ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this favorites of the month get ready with me. I like to just apply products as I speak about them, because if you haven't seen the said product video prior to this one, you can see the products in action, and just another opportunity maybe to apply them in a different way, because first impressions and reviews are tough, and I actually like to revisit several products that I consider favorites or that I really like initially, because it just gives an opportunity to combine them with other of your favorite products, to use different brushes, different application techniques. And when the end of the month comes, I like to share those combinations with you so that you have a better idea if the product will work for you or not work for you. These have been extraordinary. I absolutely love all the things that I said that I did. The Surratt concealer palette, I love the concept, I love the shade. Have to work with the texture. I don't know, again, if it's me, it's another brush. Maybe Surratt, I could email them to get better tips on that product. The Dominique Cosmetics Skin Gloss, I don't feel the need to reach for it because I have my Tom Ford shade and Illuminate, and I love that balm. Again, it's a nice product. I definitely don't feel you need all 4 shades. If you are on the deeper side of the spectrum, definitely go in with Copper Light or even Gloss Peach. This is Gloss Peach. It has a little more peach to it as the name implies, and then Copper Light, if you are deeper than me, will definitely be your highlight shade of choice. So it's definitely more bronze in hue, has a little more color to it. And if you're my skin tone and you want it to actually look like a highlight, then I will go in with Golden Dew, the one we use in the demo, and with Sunset Glow, I think it's called. Sunset Glow is supposed to be like your blush shade. It has beautiful gold tones in here, and dare I say, a deeper skin tone can use this as a highlight, but like a pinkier one. So it's totally up to you. I just like the highlighters that I have already been using. Because I bought them, I will still use them. They're just not my favorite. And with that said, fam, let me know what your favorites or not so favorites have been for the month of April. Time has flew by, and I can't thank you enough for sticking by me, staying together, and just maintaining the community that we have has really helped not only myself, but I'm sure several others that really needed that connection. Thank you to those who have been working continuously during this time, making sure that there is some sense of normalcy despite how unnormal this entire time has been. Hopefully some solace is on the way, and until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review tutorial. Get ready with me, monthly favors, or what I purchased from Neiman Marcus, or nightly live chit chat. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.